So this is at the far back end of Round Valley as the foothills start to thrust up towards the Morgan Territory Ridge. It's very secluded, and this is the Round Valley Group Camp that is available by reservation. It's really hidden. Most people wouldn't know it was there, but on the park brochure it talks about reservations and how to do that. You could stay for a night, you could stay for a weekend. You cannot have fire, so you have to bring your own camp stove, but it's a nice spot.
Staying overnight here gives you a great chance to see wildlife. Maybe, if you're extremely lucky, even the Bay Area's rarest mammal, the San Joaquin kit fox. Here's Seth Adams.
As we preserve more grassland, as ground squirrels are poisoned less and less, our real hope is that seeing San Joaquin kit foxes once again becomes commonplace rather than an incredibly rare experience the way it is in this area right now. In the last 10 or 15 years, there's probably been a half dozen sightings of San Joaquin kit fox, east side of Black Diamond Mines, a little bit in Los Vaqueros, a little bit near Brushy Peak. But we're really at the northwesternmost part of their range, which stretches all the way down the San Joaquin Valley. This is a small house cat-sized 5-pound fox with huge ears. It's mostly nocturnal, and its biggest concern are predators, especially owls and other kinds of predatory birds. So it's got to be very quiet and be able to detect birds that are also very quiet. It can be preyed on by coyotes and other things too. So its real defense is staying out of the way and being quick, being underground a lot of the time. You're most likely to see them, if ever, in early morning, late evening, or at night. In fact, one of the ways they search for them is they put out plates with dust that they leave footprints on. But the more likely way of looking for kid fox is by doing what's called spotlighting with huge high-powered lights that reflect the eyes of the kit fox and let you know it's there.
Scott Hein once saw a whole family of kit foxes some 250 miles south of here at Carrizo Plain National Monument.
It was obviously their den site, so the mother was there and there were 3 kits. She was sitting there looking annoyed, and they were wrestling with each other and wrestling with her and wrestling with each other and wrestling with her. And it was 50 yards off one of the main roads in the Carrizo Plain. I just happened to see them. It was afternoon sun, perfect light on them.
They're gorgeous. People mistake young coyotes for them all the time, but they never think how small they are, and that their ears are just huge ears. Because they're listening for owls and for mice and things like that, because they're tiny.
They live in hot places, and the ears are also radiators.
Adams hasn't seen a kit fox yet.
But I'll keep looking.
Roger Epperson, the park supervisor who inspired the Hardy Canyon Trail, took special care when he built this campground.
He was able to do this entire park, including burying a water line up a really steep canyon to the source of this natural spring. We could have put a wire fence up, and he wanted a wood fence. It's just beautiful, all recycled wood. It's one of the nicest in the East Bay parks, and it just is an example of some of the park staff doing something special.
The knoll we're standing on was once part of a 160-acre private parcel that included a house.
And he completely recycled that house. It was a mess. It was old, hadn't been used, falling down. So he recycled every bit of it. Very inexpensive and very creative.
Shortly after the campground was completed, Epperson died in a kayaking accident in Hawaii. He was 54.
Losing Roger was a really, really sad situation, but I also can come here and see what he did. He took these parks, I'd be buying them and he'd be fixing them up. I'd buy them with a great team. Clearly wasn't all by myself, but I got to be the promoter and the driver. And I go, Roger, this is just a mess here. It's got junk everywhere. They've cut down trees. And he'd just say, well, I can do this and I can do that. Can you find me $5,000? This, I think, cost $60,000 total.
Now walk down from the camp and turn left on the Murphy Meadow Trail. There's a turnoff to the Foxtail Trail along the way. That leads up towards some of the properties that were once eyed for a garbage dump. If you keep going straight, though, you'll cross a bridge over Round Valley Creek in about a mile. Just the other side of that bridge is a good place to listen to the segment about our last attraction, the Canyon Corridor.